Yo, what is going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. Right now it is Wednesday, October 14th, and it is the day that I get my KENAN-FLAGLER Business School admission decision. And if you don't know what that is, basically at UNC you have to apply to be a business major. You can't just be one because the business school is pretty prestigious, I guess. It always ranks like top 5, top 10 in the US. So they're not just going to let anyone have access to that education, so you have to apply either the summer before your sophomore year, which is what I did, or the summer before your junior year. So technically you have 2 chances, but it's much better to get in through the first one, which is what I'm hoping for today. In all honesty, I'm not very confident. I feel about the same that I did before my UNC decision, and that ended up working out. The reason I'm still not confident about this one is because, well, one, you're against all other UNC students rather than a bunch of high school seniors. Like for college apps, you know, people at UNC were already top in their high schools and probably above average students. So while the acceptance rate is like about 40 or 50%, I think about 350 people get accepted out of 800 to 900 that apply. The competition of those 900 students is a lot harder. And the application itself isn't easy. Like, it's a lot. It took me 2 to 3 months to fully complete, just like normal college apps. It felt like I was applying to college all over again, except it was a bit more than that. And that's what I wanted to make this video about. It's about 3 p.m. right now. Decisions are scheduled to release between 5 and 9 p.m. according to an email from them. So I'm going to have my reaction to whatever my decision is at the end of the video, but in the meantime, I wanted to go through how the actual application looks, show you guys what you have to do to apply, give a few tips here and there, and just talk a little bit about the process as a whole, and then we'll see if I get in or not, which again, like I said, not too confident. Okay, so I can't actually go to the application page because the application is submitted and that's all it'll say, but I actually screen recorded the full application right before it was due. Like, I'm talking 8:57 p.m. and it was due at 9. So I go through this quickly, but I'll pause around. But yeah, basically the first few sections were just like general UNC information, your major, your GPA, and your personal information. And then here you have to write down your grades for all of the prerequisite classes for the B school. There are 5, and you basically just say if you took them at high school or if you took them at UNC. And then there's the resume section, and you can't just submit your standard resume. You have to put everything on your resume in a specific format, and everyone has to follow that same format. So I'd suggest if you already have a working resume, then to just transfer everything onto this KENAN-FLAGLER format. It's really annoying to use, so try to do it early. And then anything you add during the application period, you can just add it onto the KENAN-FLAGLER one and then submit that there. The headings are all spelled out for you, and it can't be more than 1 page. Then you have the awards section. I was a little confused about what to put in this one, honestly. I just put like my DECA placings in high school and a few AP awards and presidential award. I don't have that, but I know that's something you can put on it. So this one's pretty similar to the Common App Awards section, I think. And then there's the employment section where you put every place that you worked or have some experience in. Pretty self-explanatory. The descriptions for these ones were pretty short, so you have to say what you did pretty concisely, but obviously you can expand on that in your resume. Then you have activities and volunteer experiences, which again is pretty similar to the Common App section with this. This is just like school clubs and organizations and hobbies and things like that you can put on here, and I'm pretty sure the descriptions for these were unlimited, so you can expand as much as you wanted. And then you have the short answer questions. These were a surprise to me. I did not know that they were going to be on the application, but you have 3 of them. Each of them have a 100-word maximum, which sounds nice in theory, but it's really tough. You can see the questions there. It's pretty hard to fit everything that you want to answer from these questions into those 100 words. So you have to talk really concisely and still make it coherent somehow, which was challenging. And then the main part, the essays. The amount of essays was a surprise to me. 5 potential essays you need to write with a 500-word maximum, but more likely it'll be 3 or 4. You have a personal statement that's required, which is like the typical why are you interested in business questions, why is KENAN-FLAGLER good for you, stuff like that. And you have 2 questions that I believe change every year. They may or may not, but these are like your typical college application type questions, like describe a time you worked in a team or something about perspective, and you have to write whatever they give you. There's no choosing like Common App. And after that, there's an optional essay portion. I didn't put anything down for that, but if you're like a transfer student or some special circumstances, that's where you should write about that. Unless there was something I was supposed to write about there, then I completely missed that. The last essay could be if you're applying to any of Kenan's special programs like the Globe Study Abroad program, as well as the Kenan Scholars program. You can only apply to 1 of those, so that's why I say 5 essays and not 6. But if you're like me and you just want to get into the school, then it's 3 500-word essays. And when you think about that, that is a lot. That's 1,800 total words of essays, 6 different prompts. and each prompt has multiple sub questions inside of it. So it was a lot of writing, and one tip I'd give from my experience is to think of your ideas, like your answers to each of the questions in the prompts early on, and just like write like a sentence or two of what you want to answer that with, like as soon as you can after the application comes out. And then throughout the 1 to 2 months, start developing your essay, writing more, sorting out grammar and structure and things like that. Those are things that I underestimated how long they would take, and it took me until the day of submission for this application to actually iron all of that out, and that was really stressful. So it would definitely save you some time to solidify your ideas early, and also just make sure everything that you're writing answers one of the questions in the prompt, because sometimes you can just subconsciously add some information that's really not necessary to answering the question, but that might dock you over your word count, which you don't want. And all of these have to be in a specific format too, but that's not something that should take a long time, maybe just like 15-20 minutes. The second big part is the interview. The interview is 2 questions, and you don't know what either of the questions are before you take it. And it's not a one-on-one, it's you talking to your webcam. They flash the question up at the beginning, and then you have to answer both of them within a 6-minute time frame. As you can see, mine went all the way to the limit, which I don't think is a good thing, because that probably means I spent too much time answering one of the questions, but I guess we'll see. And if you don't like your attempt, you get 2 retry attempts, but the catch with that is they're not going to be the same question, so you can't fully practice your answers or anything. You're taking a risk if you retry, because your answer to the previous one might be better than the one that you're about to try, and you can't go back and choose any of your previous ones. So it's a pretty tough decision to make. I had one more left that could have turned out better, but because I thought this one was okay, I just left it, and I didn't want to take that risk. And then there's just more additional information stuff, talking about like the programs and the concentrations that you're interested in, things about study abroad and travel, and then you just sign it at the end, type your name. I don't know why my credit card's coming up. Definitely gonna have to blur that out. And that's it. Then you have to review it. To give you an idea of how pressed for time I had to screen record this in, all of what I just showed you took 14 seconds to screen record, because like I said, it was 8:57 p.m. and as soon as I hit this submit application button, I realized I had a mistake in one of my activity sections. I just put grew blank % instead of grew 15%, because at the time I wrote the description, I didn't know what that number was, but I never came back to update it. But I don't think things like that really affect it that much. But like I said, we'll see. I'm gonna give it like a 35% chance of me getting in. I think that's fair. Okay, well, here we go, I guess. Time to see my decision. Again, getting in does not like determine your future or anything, especially since I have a second chance next year if I don't get in. But I would be lying if I said it wouldn't be nice to get in now and just like have that peace of mind that I know I'm guaranteed a business major and I'm no longer a pre-business, because that's really annoying. But yeah, I haven't opened my email in 4 hours, but I have seen people like tweeting and stuff that decisions were out, so they're definitely out. Open my email. KENAN-FLAGLER admission decision. Oh, they're not showing it in the email. We have to go to the portal. Log in. View update.
Nope.
Yeah, okay. I figured as much. We regret to inform you that you were not selected for admission for the 2021 cycle. Yeah, I called it. That sucks, but I'm gonna look at the bright side. Next year I'll have a much better idea going into it. And there is like an application feedback thing that you can get to get personalized feedback, so that's nice. And it gives me time to explore other majors, because I know it sounds like an excuse or something, but I've never been fully decided on a business major. It's always just been the one that's been first in the race for me, but I guess this gives me another year to explore other classes and stuff like that. And I hope this doesn't invalidate everything I've just said, because I think they're still pretty solid tips. But making this video, did I just help out my competition for next year? Nah, whatever. But yeah, that's unfortunate, but the grind continues. Okay, quick update. It is now November 5th. I just had my feedback appointment, and basically they said one of the main things I didn't do that well was I didn't have much specificity when it came to my short-term and long-term career goals, which was part of like the main essay prompt, which makes sense. It's fair, because I honestly didn't have a really good idea of what I was doing. So my writing probably came across as pretty vague when it came to those career goals, and because of that, I can't really specifically say how KENAN-FLAGLER can help me get to those goals. So that's something I need to work on over the next year and figure out. Other than that, it was just pretty general stuff, like be more involved in KENAN-FLAGLER clubs, add more numbers and things like that to my resume. GPA, they said the average GPA this time around was 3.78. And on their website, it said the previous average GPA was 3.62. So mine is 3.66. So I thought I was above average, but I definitely was below average for this application cycle. So if you had any doubts that GPA mattered, it definitely does, especially if you're taking business-related classes. And yeah, a couple other things. I'm not too mad. It is still frustrating because I spent so much time on this application and now I have to do it again next year. But like I said, it does give me a year to sort of explore my other options, solidify what double major I want to do, and then apply again next year and hopefully get in. We'll see what happens. If you have any questions about the process or you want more specifics on my feedback, drop them down below. I'll be happy to help. Thank you guys so much for watching. I will see you later. Drop a like and sub. Peace out. I don't know what I'm doing.